Hi everybody, Rob Paparozzi back here in the harmonica dungeon. And today we're going to talk about the chord harmonica and the bass harmonica. These are a lot bigger than you're used to seeing with the diatonic and the chromatic harmonica. I'm going to do a quick demo today of a song that was recorded back in the 60s by the Beatles off their Sgt Pepper CD. Not CD, it was vinyl back then. This is the CD that was later released. There's a song on here that John Lennon wrote called Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. And he was looking for a circus carnival type atmospheric sound on this, and he pretty much reached it. What he did is he used the chord harmonica, and they didn't have a lot of tracking back then. I think Sgt. Pepper might have been done on a 4-track, and they were just getting used to the tracking. So they probably had a round robin, a couple of microphones, a couple of guys playing a couple of chords, and a couple of bass harmonicas. And what they did is they might have even taped them off, and I'll show you how they might have done that. Would love to hear more about how that session went that day. But on the chord harmonica, the first 3 measures, and again, they repeated this at the end of the first verse, and then you never heard it again in the tune. B flat, which would be on the top tier, major chord. Now you notice it's a very full sound. The chord harmonica has a lot of chords going across the top, major chords. And each chord has 4 notes, and each chord has 4 notes on top, an octave lower, and 4 notes on the bottom, an octave higher. So it gives you almost a vibrato or type of a accordion concertina type sound. If I can, this is going to be hard to show you the single notes, but you can hear the octave there. So when you play the whole chord, it gets very full. And the dominant 7th on the draw. Major chords. That's the top. The bottom has your minor notes and your half diminished, blow and draw. So the Beatles played it like this. They probably, I have another one here, which is actually more like what they use, the wooden comb and the original chord harmonica. They probably did it where they taped off. I have electrical tape. It's a way to cheat if you don't play like the professional chord harmonica players played or the bass players played, so you don't mess up. And since you're just doing a performance of a couple of chords, you want to get them right. So I taped off the B flat, which is the first chord. Give that about a measure. It's all exhale, so you got to really pace yourself. And the minor chord is exhale as well. The D minor. There you only have a couple beats of that last measure, and then you're going to expel everything on that G chord. So it would sound like. That's what the chord players were doing, whether they did one chord at a time or not. The bass harmonica is an all blow instrument. Again, double reeded and low and high octave, so you get a big fat punchy sound out of it. But doubled or matched the chords, starting on a B flat. Now that's on the top tier. It's sort of like a piano. The black notes on top and the white notes on the bottom. You can't hit it hard. It's all blow, not draw. And if you hit it too hard, it chokes. So you want to put a nice even breath through this instrument and practice it that way. And when you get down low, the reeds are real low, so real long. So you really got to even your air out. That's the tone of it. The octave they played it in for Mr. Kite. It cuts a little better up on the higher octave, higher part of the harmonica. So that's what they did. On this song also, I believe Paul McCartney was playing bass, probably hitting some quarter notes, dum, 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 G, G, whatever the notes are, B flat, boom, 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 A, D, G, and just to support what the bass was doing, plunking those little tight little quarter notes out. One other thing going on over those first three measures, and again at that re-entry where it was repeated, and I'm not sure if they flew that in or they probably performed it once and maybe flew it in. I don't know if they had that technology back then. They might have just played it again. But there was a calliope organy type melody. Probably was George Martin playing. I'll play it on the chromatic just so you hear the melody that was going over this pad. That was the melody. And that's it. That's what you had for the intro of this song. There are other pop songs from the 60s and 70s that used the chord and bass harmonica. And that's kind of the reason I'm doing this video. I want writers and arrangers and composers to know that these harmonicas are still around and there are people that can play them. And I have a whole full range of stuff here. When I go into a studio, I'm ready for action. We hope that they'll continue to write for these instruments and use them in Broadway shows and commercials and TV shows. You heard these on TV shows back in the 60s, Green Acres and maybe Petticoat Junction. Green Acres had one of their characters was an animal, a pig. And when he walked out on stage, you heard a big fat sound. It was almost like a sound effect type thing, and I guess that was an effect, a color that they were going for. You heard bass harmonica on the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. You heard it on Paul Simon's The Boxer. So it's out there. It's being used. It's been used, and we want to continue to have players that play this and keep this harmonica, this type of harmonica alive. So that's my little mini lesson today. Hopefully we'll cover some other stuff in the next video. Thank you. Bye.